Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, breaking overnight, the director of California Public Health resigns amid questions over the delay in reporting state testing results.
The president signs new executive orders aimed at giving Americans relief for the coronavirus economic crisis as congressional negotiations stall. What he's ordering still ahead.
2 new deadly shootings over the weekend as the Kern County homicide rate continues to climb. We'll take a look at where we are now compared to past years on this Monday, August 10th, 2020. Good morning. It's 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen here in studio alongside Alex Fisher, kind of instituting a new era again.
Yes.
After the social distancing that had us both at home on and off week after week, we have decided to come back to studio. We will be keeping our 6 feet distance here on set and around the newsroom as well. But just happy to be back in studio with all of you.
Yeah, I think the key is that, we still have plans to maintain that those social distancing guidelines, including in our newsroom as well. So things are going to look still a little different. We're not fully back to normal, but boy, is it good to be back with you and with Kevin. The team is pretty much all together in studio for the first time in several months.
Yeah, in our new studio, I'm at least 15 feet away from you, so I'm good.
You're really safe.
I'm really safe. When we talk about temperatures, yesterday, Sunday, we had 100 degrees, and we are now in heat wave number 6, and that is going to continue. Temperatures are going to be even a little bit warmer for today. Let's show you what we've got going on right now. We've got 76 degrees outside currently, under no winds, and we'll look for just a light breeze throughout the day. Take a look at the dog walk forecast. By 8 a.m., 85 degrees, and you can see throughout the afternoon, right around 5, will be near 102. And it is clear the shelters still with the city shelter, and we want to feature pups that have been adopted or just part of loving homes. And this one I couldn't pass up, and we've been getting submissions on our website. Some people send the names of their dogs, others don't. This one didn't have a name, but it was just too cute to pass up. On the fence, this is where the dog is. It says, "Smile, you're on camera." You're real scared of that face, aren't you? And that's what I said. You scared yet? So again, if you'd like your pet featured, we're going to try to show as many as we possibly can. You can upload them at kgt.com. 57 degrees in Tehachapi right now. No winds to talk about there either. And you can see throughout the day, temperatures will be rising into the upper 80s and some lower 90s as well. I'll have much more in your forecast. That's coming up in just a bit.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Breaking overnight, a man is dead after being shot at a motel early this morning. We want to show you some video of the scene just a few hours ago. It happened just after midnight at the Ram Kabir Motel on Union Avenue near California Avenue. That's where Bakersfield police officers say the man was shot and killed. It's not clear what led up to the shooting. There's also no information about the shooter.
Meantime, the investigation into a shooting that wounded 2 people at the Vagabond Inn on Knudsen Drive continues this morning. Kern County Sheriff's Office says that they responded to a shooting in the parking lot of the hotel around 8:50 Saturday evening. Officers say a man and woman were in their car when they were approached by 2 people. One opened fire. KCSO says the victims suffered non-life-threatening injuries. At this time, though, they don't have a description of the shooter.
Police are also investigating a shooting that left 1 dead in Oleander. BPD says officers received a shot spotter report near the corner of I and 2nd Streets. This happened late Saturday night. Police say they found a man shot in the middle of the road. He later died from his gunshot wounds. There's no description of the shooter in this case either. If you have any information, you're asked to call police at 327-7111. And it has been a deadly year in Kern County. The 2 homicides over the weekend add to the 78 people killed this year. At this point last year, there were 61 killings. That's 17 fewer people than where we are today compared to last year. Crime experts say there's not always an explanation for why crime rises and falls, but dozens are being killed in Kern County every year. If trends continue, we'll be on track to shatter our previous record set in 2018. That year, 113 people were killed. Unfortunately, it is the new normal. And for this year, on average, someone is killed nearly every 3 days in Kern. It's an issue often reported in snapshots. In many cases, the victims' stories aren't told with details going unreported. Our goal is to change that with the 17 News Homicide Tracker. You can go to kget.com to see more about the trends, resources, and stories about the victims.
Meantime, Bakersfield police continue to crack down on illegal street racing. Saturday night, BPD conducted another street racing operation. According to BPD, officers issued 8 citations and impounded 8 cars. During the overnight hours, officers made 11 related traffic stops. BPD says all the cars were impounded for reckless driving instead of street racing. If you have any information on illegal street racing happening in your area, call BPD at 327-7111.
After delays because of the coronavirus pandemic, the trial of Leslie Chance will continue today. You may remember Chance is the former elementary school principal convicted of killing her husband, Todd. That killing happened back in August 2013, and Chance was convicted earlier this year. Today, Chance is set to appear in court for a status conference hearing. Now to the latest on the Stagecoach fire that continues to burn. The fire is in the mountains east of Bakersfield between Tehachapi and Lake Isabella. The fire has now grown to more than 7,700 acres, and fire officials say it has destroyed 37 structures. 4 other buildings have been damaged. Crews are getting an upper hand on the flames, with the fire at 57% containment. So far, no one has been hurt. Kern County Fire tells us that, along with the U.S. Forest Service, officials held a community meeting to discuss the fire and answer any questions that residents may have. Officials provided more in-depth details regarding the blaze. 12 single-family homes have been completely lost in this fire, 2 others damaged. 25 outbuildings have been lost, and another 2 destroyed. Fire officials expect full containment by Wednesday. They previously expected full containment on August 17th. Police want to remind everyone that they are patrolling the area and keeping a close eye on any potential looters. Evacuation orders for those in Paiute Meadows have been lifted at this time. Evacuation orders remain in effect for Thompson Canyon and Valley View. Fire officials estimate 150 people are included in those orders at this time.
Fire season is underway here in Kern County, and another blaze burning just south of the Grapevine along Interstate 5. According to California Highway Patrol incident page, a vegetation fire broke out around 6:30 last night. Traffic was backed up along the 5 on the Grapevine, with Caltrans estimating a 6-mile backup. All lanes and major roads in the area are open at this hour.
Now to some safety tips you'll want to keep in mind as fire season continues. When there's an active fire, be sure to take care of your lungs. Wildfire smoke contains particulate matter, which can trigger asthma attacks and aggravate chronic bronchitis. And the smoke can also increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. Taking care of your lungs is especially important during the coronavirus outbreak. If you're exposed to dirty, polluted air, move inside as soon as possible. And if you're already indoors, keep your doors and windows closed. Unfortunately, this is going to be a busy fire season. We're already seeing that this year, as not only, there are fires up and down the state, but again, there's, the Stagecoach fire, 7,700 acres. That is a big fire, and we're still early into fire season.
Yeah, and a lot of homes destroyed. That's what's really sad about that one.
As the COVID-19 death toll continues to rise, negotiations on a plan to treat the failing economy continue to stall. The week begins a new battle over a series of executive orders from the president. As NBC's Scott McFarland reports, there's uncertainty whether the orders will help, fail, or spark new talks on a rescue plan.
As he made his way back to Washington from a weekend at his resort in New Jersey, President Trump made the case for his newly signed executive actions for coronavirus economic relief.
You may say that, you've heard some negatives, but I've heard mostly positives. We have to get money out to the people.
Among the orders, $400 a week in unemployment benefits, less money than Democrats were seeking, and partly paid for and distributed by each state. It's unclear which states can afford it, how fast the money can be sent out, and whether it's constitutional.
Whether they're legal or not takes time to figure out. My constitutional advisors tell me they're absurdly unconstitutional.
The president also postponed the due date of payroll taxes for some workers. Democrats argue the order could starve money from Social Security and Medicare and oversteps the president's authority.
Our counsel's office, the Treasury Department believes It has the authority to temporarily suspend tax collections. So we're banking on that.
Democrats have not said if they'll file a legal challenge.
The executive orders are all too narrow, unworkable, and weak.
But the president told reporters over the weekend if a lawsuit happens, he says he expects courts to hear the case quickly. The president told reporters he's heard from Democrats about reopening negotiations, but two top Democratic aides tell NBC News there's been no contact between the White House and congressional Democratic leaders. Scott McFarland, NBC News, Washington.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.